I really I have no idea what to say. Good morning, hello, this is Rob. My name is Rob at Gemini Guitars. I have been uh, telling myself that I want to try to make some videos about guitar pickups and stuff for a while, and this is my first effort that I'm going to try to do. I'm sure I'll sound weird and it'll be really awkward at times. I don't like how I look right now. I'm wearing my glasses. I hate wearing glasses, but the reason I'm doing that is because God only knows what is going on with my eye right now. We don't know, but we thought it was a good idea to give it some air. Take the contacts out and give it some air. I'm gonna try to talk about today is this pickup and pickguard assembly that I got on eBay. So check it out. Here it is. Probably paid a lot more than it's worth, but at the moment it seemed like a good idea because I can use these pick guards for stuff, and I have never actually had one of these made in Japan pickups. I have seen them many times. They're fairly common, small, approximately Strat shaped, sized. I mean, definitely not Strat shaped, but this was a good. I was somewhat happy with this because I got the pickup, and I got the aforementioned pick guard, which, let's see here, probably aluminum. The magnet does not stick to it. So, but also I got won't use the knobs and stuff, but I do like to keep these capacitors because they are definitely not good capacitors, but they if you want to get the kind of junky 60s made in Japan vibe, always like to use these little guys right here, these little chiclet capacitors, and this one is actually a 0.5. Anyway, all right, and here it is out of the pick guard. This is the degree to which I was willing to clean up my bench to film this. Small-ish single coil. Screw pull pieces. There's a little, what appear to be rivets holding the cover on. However, they, see if I can get it to focus here somewhat. Not really. They do appear to be threaded. Little cardboard sort of circuit board there with the leads, with the jumpers. These are insulated coming off of the coil to the pickup leads here. So let's cut this dude apart and see what's going on inside. Have a pretty good idea. I am going to wager that there is a ceramic bar magnet sitting on top of this steel base plate, and then there is a very small coil sitting on top of that. This pickup does work. I measured it with the multimeter, and it is a very low 2.51 K ohms resistance to the coil. So probably a very small coil sitting on top of there. But let's cut it open and see what's going on inside. All right, so I got these little rivets out. They were little rivets. They are actually not threaded at all. They were just little clips pressed on here. And I swear to you, I have not looked inside of this yet. So we're going to see if I was right about the. I have to try to do this one-handed. All right. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, pretty much right. I'll admit that I wasn't completely right. That's cool. All right, cool. Well, it looks like that is definitely a ceramic magnet in there. that I will be able to use for something. There's the coil, and there's looks like there's probably just a little steel bar where those screws are going to be. All right, so I've got the camera rigged up here. As long as I don't move anywhere, it'll stay in frame here. Just kind of wanting to pop this out so we can get a look at it without ripping and tearing and all that stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, look at that. Big guy right there. That's cool. This is actually a size that is new to me. Once you mess with these old Japanese pickups for very long, you see a lot of the same size magnets over and over. And this is actually a one that I am not haven't seen a ton of. Probably ceramic 5 from what I can guess. With my gauze meter here. I want to get a digital one. This one's cool, but I don't think I know what I'm using it right. Anyway, so there's the magnet right there. It looks like the bar. This is definitely coming out, but let's see if the coil itself is not wanting to come out. So it may be glued and it may just be stuck, but I don't want to just yank it out of there yet. It looks like it might be glued though. All right, so do I want to desolder that? I don't care. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to rewind this, the whole point of this exercise. All right, so here comes there's the kind of keeper bar that just sits on top of the magnet and gives it some, something for the pole pieces to screw into. This is actually a fairly large one, especially for the size of the pickup. Have not seen one exactly this size. They're all pretty similar to this, but this one's pretty big. This one looks like well, what we would say here in the good old USA is that this is approximately a 1/4 inch by a 1/4 inch. However, it's more than likely 6 millimeters by 6 millimeters. Here's a pick. Let's get this guy out. Yeah, oh, it's not glued in. It's just stuck in there with the old juicy tape here. Really small bobbin. I've never seen, this is a bobbin. Again, you start to recognize stuff after a while. This is a bobbin that I've not seen before. Actually, probably not going to reuse this bobbin because it is tall. However, it is very, very narrow. As you can see, not much to it. Looks like some enamel wire. 2.5K on this. I don't know. I think maybe I would usually say 43 because you typically don't see a lot of 42 gauge in these made in Japan pickups. But I think that even as small as this bobbin is, I feel like if this was 44 gauge, the resistance would be higher. So probably 43 gauge. Again, though, I am going to rebuild the guts of this pickup, make it a little bit more usable. Not totally sure what I want to do yet. But we'll see. Steel base plate. That would kind of, I don't know. Having a steel base plate on a pickup does several things. It's difficult to say where the line between objective things and subjective things are, it definitely does strengthen or kind of push up the magnetic field, um, is one thing. If you look, let's see if I can get this on here. Look at that. You can totally see it. So, you know, pretty strong, but not way off the scale. So that's why I would guess that this is probably ceramic 5. Now, if you put this on the steel base plate, you see that it is off the scale there. And that's not because, I mean, obviously the magnet has not gotten stronger, but the magnetic field is kind of being pushed up, you could say, by the being redirected by the steel base plate. So we'll see what I end up reusing when I rebuild this pickup. Obviously, definitely going to use the cover. That's what I bought it for. But we're very limited on space of what we're going to do. I might end up trying to do maybe some sort of kind of P90-ish design setup here. But we'll see. Very, very interesting piece. I think it'll clean up really nice, and it'll get used in a project very soon. So I don't know if I'm going to continue this video, or maybe I'll do a part 2, but we'll see. If all right, so one thing I wanted to do but did not do is check out what the string spread was on this thing, and to confirm no, it's totally wrong, 7x7, so pretty big, 7mm by 7mm. This thing's as far as keeper bars go, and I could talk for hours about keeper bars. This one's pretty big, so 0.27 by about 0.27 by 0.27. Especially for such a small pickup, this is a big honking keeper bar. And one of the things I forgot to mention about when you start adding big chunks of steel to a pickup is that it raises the inductance. So if you add a steel base plate, that will raise the inductance. If you put a great big steel keeper bar like this one, that will raise the inductance too. And inductance is the ability to induce a electric current, and I will get more into that at a later date. But typically what that translates to is higher inductance will, as the inductance goes up, you'll get some more bass frequencies and stuff like that. And typically we'll have a what would be considered a stronger pickup. But I'll talk more about that at a later date. These little pole pieces are interesting. It is threaded. The keeper bar is threaded. Let me make sure. Let me see if get this in here where you can see it. Try to. Little odd shaped little guy here. All right. Interesting. Okay, so the big reveal. What is the string spacing here? Is looks like 1.96, which would be very, very. This is going to be perfect for a neck pickup. So I'm excited about that. Let's see what it is in millimeters. And when I use words like excited, what I mean is still totally the same, feeling the same as I was before whatever that was happened. Looks 50 millimeter string spacing, which is perfect for a neck pickup. That is would be a fender spacing neck pickup, or a would totally work if you were doing Gibson spacing. You could even use it for a bridge pickup, but I think this is going to make a great neck pickup in something once I rebuild it and do what it is that I'm going to do. So while I got the calipers out here, I need to shit or get off the pot when it comes to inches versus millimeters, but let's say inches here. 0.71 wide at the widest part, and as you can see, it has this nice little you know, curve. It's almost like an ellipse. So 0.71 wide, 3.21 wide at the on the cover. These little rivet holes, which maybe I'll put the height adjustment through these. That might be cool. And 2.66, and it looks like if I were to use this, the spacing was pretty wide. Actually, it looks like 3.73, and the screw spacing, the height adjustment screw spacing for a Strat is usually right around 3 1/16, so 3. Just a little bit over 3, and this is a lot over 3, so obviously this will not going to drop in to anything, but that's part of the fun. So again, that's what I got. Yeah, that's what I got the other day, yesterday. Oh, is that everything? I think that's everything. Coil, which I'm not going to use. Base plate, which I'm probably not going to use. I think I know what I'm going to do with this pickup, but we will see soon enough. So, putting everything together. And the good thing about this video is I'm going to record where I actually put this, and then that way, when I can't find it, I'll be able to get on YouTube here and find and look up where I found it, or put it. Look up where I put it. This is what it looks like outside today. The mighty Hudson River, named after Daryl Hudson, discovered by Daryl Hudson in 1973. It snowed last night. If it snows one more time this year, I am going to go completely crazy and jump in that river and sink to the bottom like a big rock. Anyway, I hope you come back and see if I ever actually do a part 2. And from Jim and I Guitars, talk to you later.